important dynasties of North India. That we are learning one by one. All big dynasties we learn. Maurya dynasty, then Kushans we learn, then Guptas we learn. One more is Pushyavati dynasty. In that Harshavardhana is famous. About him we are learning today. Yes, about Harshavardhana, very interesting story is there. So listen it very carefully, children. After the collapse of Gupta Empire, that is very big empire it is. So many small kingdoms, Nayakas were there in the small blocks, leaders were there, they declared themselves as a kings and they started ruling independently. So like this way, many small kingdoms came up. They declared themselves as a king and started ruling as a kings. So many small kingdoms were there. In that, one of the important dynasty was Pushyavati dynasty. Alright, one of the important one is Pushyavati dynasty. In that Pushyavati dynasty, many kings ruled. Harshavardhana is the important one in that, famous one. From the north, from the Sindh region to Karnataka, he came to that. He defeated the Karnataka king, Pulkeshi II. Such an important king is. Okay, Harshavardhana, that one we are learning. He is from the Pushyavati dynasty. When he has, this Pushyavati dynasty's capital city was Taneshwar. Capital city was Taneshwara. And their dynasty name is Pushyavati dynasty. See children, this Harshavardhana, when he became the king, that time he was just 16 years old. Such a, in a so small age he became the king. How he became the king? In what critical condition he became the king? That is very nice stories there, children. I am going to explain that one. So if you want to understand that story, you want to enjoy that story, means you will come across all these relatives of the Harshavardhana. Father, brother, sister, brother-in-law, like this, many are there. Everyone's name also I wrote here. So what happened, children? This Prabhakara Vardhana is the father of the Harshavardhana. Followed, children? Prabhakara Vardhana is the father of the Harshavardhana. After Prabhakara Vardhana, his elder son, who it is Rajavardhana Varma, he became the king. That means he is the elder brother of the Harshavardhana. He came to the power. That is Hindu tradition. No? After father, elder son will become the king. Same way, this Rajavardhana Varma, not Rajavarma, it is Rajavardhana Varma. He became the king for the Pushyavati dynasty. And they were ruling from the Taneshwar. And they are having one sister. Sister name is Rajeshri. Sister of Harshavardhana. Got it? And Rajavardhana Varma also. Both are brothers there. Then this sister, she married to the Grahavarma. Grahavarma is also king. Brother-in-law means brother-in-law for the Harshavardhana and husband for the Rajeshri. Followed, children? Yes. So this Grahavardhana Varma is also king of the Malukuri dynasty. Followed, he is the king of the Malukuri dynasty. King is, and their capital city is Kannauj. Followed, children? Their capital city is Kannauj. Once again I will repeat. Prabhakara Vardhana is the father of Harshavardhana. After him, his elder son Rajavardhana Varma came to the power, and sister Rajeshri, she married to the Grahavarma. He is the king of Malukuri dynasty. Their capital city was Kannauj. But what happened, children? Malwas attacked on the Kannauj and they killed the Grahavarma. Following, Malwas killed the Grahavarma and they kept Rajeshri in the jail. Following, Rajeshri they kept in the jail. That time, this Prabhakara Harshavardhana Varma was the king, not Prabhakara Vardhana Varma. Rajyavardhana Varma was the king, elder son of the Prabhakara Vardhana. Followed, this Rajyavardhana Varma went for the rescue of his sister. He wanted to release her from the jail. He went there and he released her. But what happened afterwards? One of the cunning man helped the Malwas to kill the Rajyavardhana Varma. Rajyavardhana Varma also died, children. His name is Shashank Gowda. That person helped the people, so the Malwas killed the Rajyavardhana Varma also. Then afterwards, see now here in the Maukuri dynasty, Grahavarma is killed. There is also no king. Now for Pushyavati dynasty, Prabhakara Varma is already dead. Then Rajyavardhana Varma, he is also killed. Now who were the kings for these two? In such a critical time, he handled the situation and Harshavardhana became the king for both the dynasties. So interesting, no children? Such a small age it is, just 16 years. That time he declared himself as a king. And to maintain both the kingdom, Taneshwar is in the top, next is Kanauj. So what he made, he changed the capital city. He has to manage both. So from Taneshwar to Kanauj, he shifted the capital. Because it should be in the center to manage both the kingdom. That's why he changed the Kanauj as a capital city. As his capital city from Taneshwar. Otherwise, Pushyavati dynasty's capital city is Taneshwar only. Because of sister's dynasty also, to manage that one, he changed it from Taneshwar to Kanauj. This is the story of the Harshavardhana, how he came to the power. And afterwards, he made the huge army. Army is there, means self is there. So for the protection of this, he released her from the Malwa's sister. Harshavardhana released her sister Rajeshri from the Malwas. He released her from the jail and shifted his capital and managing that Maukuri dynasty also. But that sister, she was not in a mental condition. As a widow, she started roaming in the forest of the Western Ghats. That is the story of the Rajeshri. Always there is a threat for her from the Malwas. They want to kill her also. Okay, yes. Then this Harshavardhana is a very good king. He made first big army. He started taking the one by one region, extended the kingdom from the north to the South India. He taken the Sindh part in the north and up to Karnataka he came and he defeated the Karnataka king Pulkeshi II. Chalukya king he is. Remember it, children. Here I am writing means it is not visible it is, so remember it. Pulkeshi is a Chalukya king, Pulkeshi II. Chalukya king. That one Harshavardhana defeated. For children, and he ruled for the 40 years. He is ruled for the 40 years. This is all about the Harshavardhana. Take this point, children. Yes, one small correction, children. Just I said, Chalukya king Pulkeshi II, Harshavardhana defeated. Little correction is there. Not Harshavardhana. Pulkeshi II only defeated the Harshavardhana. Okay, children. Little correction is there. Change it. Chalukya king Pulkeshi II defeated the Harshavardhana. Okay. Yes. Now I will take the literature. Harshavardhana is very much encouraged for the education, children, for writing the books and all. He encouraged, and he made the Nalanda University also. Himself is a writer. He wrote the many books. Important one I wrote here, children. That is Priyadarshika, Ratnavali, and Nagananda. These are the important books written by Harshavardhana. Follow, children. 3 books named there. written by the king himself only. He used to write the books. And Banabhatta, he is also a writer. He wrote the book Harsha Charita. He wrote about the Harshavardhana. So very beautiful story is having now. In a lot of struggle and very critical condition, he became the king. He managed to maintain the big army and 2 dynasties. So all the story about the Harshavardhana he wrote in a book. That book name is Harsha Charita. What it Banavata wrote that one. And as I said, Harshavardhana was very much encouraging the education. For that purpose, they built the Nalanda University. Nalanda University. Do you heard the word Nalanda University? From the ancient time it is children in India, university was there. How great, no? And this university is encouraged by the Harshavardhana. It is in Bihar, children. This university is in Bihar, and for the 6 centuries it is popular in India. Not only popular in India, outside India also. Many China people and other country people, China, Japan students used to come for study in the Nalanda University. That much it is famous. It is in Bihar, and for 6 centuries it is popular. Then in that Nalanda University, this Harshavardhana only encouraged, I said, children. Nalanda University, little more I'll tell about the Nalanda University. Listen it. It is in Bihar, I said, and for 6th century it is popular. And in that Nalanda University, 8 schools were there and 3 big libraries were there. Students used to come not only from all over the India, outside India also, Japan and China, from China also, students used to come for the study in Nalanda University. And what subjects they are teaching? There, yoga, Veda, medicine, Buddhism, all these things were, and many more things also taught in the Nalanda University. And all teachers were scholars, they were experts in their field. That one, they were teaching the subjects in the Nalanda University. And education was free. That is a very important characteristic of the Nalanda University. Both boarding, lodging, education, everything is free in the Nalanda University. Then how they used to maintain the expenses? Scholars were there, we have to pay for them. Library, books you have to maintain. Well, how they used to maintain all that one? That is, Harshavardhana gifted 100 village tax to the Nalanda University. For children, all the expense of the Nalanda University was borne by the Harshavardhana king. Education was free there. How they are maintaining it? He given the 100 village tax to the Nalanda University. That all 100 villages are donated to the Nalanda University. Whatever income coming from that village, tax coming from that village, that is used by the Nalanda University for the education, to maintain the books, to pay the salary, to give the food, for all that one, they are using that one. Okay, then it is so famous, children. One of the Chinese traveler, his name Huan San. Huan San. He came to India. Buddhist traveler is. He came to study Buddhism. He came and he visited the Harshavardhana's court also. And for many years he lived in Nalanda University and he learned the Buddhism. This is all about the Nalanda University and about the literature during the Harshavardhana's time. Still more is there. Take this point, children. I will wait. Yes, just while teaching the Nalanda, I said, children, Huan San, that is a Buddhist Chinese traveler. He visited Nalanda University. I said no. About him only, I wrote some points here. He is a Chinese Buddhist traveler. He visited India 1400 years back. 1400 years back he visited India and he lived in India for 15 years. He visited the Harshavardhana's court also. After that, Many years he lived in the Nalanda University. He lived in the Nalanda University to study the Buddhism. Then he wrote the book, children. That book name is C.U.K. That book name is C.U.K. That book name. It is a Chinese word. It is. What does it mean? Record of Western Kingdom. Record of the Western Kingdom. China is in the left side. So right part is India. India always lies in the west. So for Chinese people it is in the west. That one. So they have called it as a Western Kingdom. Follow, children. In the top of the India only China is there. For Chinese people we are in the west side. That one they call it as a Western Kingdom. CUK means record of Western Kingdom. Alright? Yes. Then this is all about the Huyen Tsang. He wrote the record means in India what is the culture, how the kingdom, how Harshavardhana's kingdom, how they are encouraging for the education. All that one he wrote in the CUK. Why it is written? CUK, that book name. Yes. Next comes religion. What was the religion in the Pushyabhuti dynasty? This Harshavardhana, Prabhakaravardhana, Rajavardhana Varma, all were tolerating the other religion also. They were not supporting every religion. They were not stick to any one religion. They are Shaiva people, children. This Pushyabhuti dynasty means they are Shaivas. They are Shaiva people, but they were more encouraging the Buddhism. They are giving encouragement for support for the Buddhism. And this Harshavardhana, he organized the religious conference. Religious conference he organized for 2 times. One is in the Kannauj, another one is in the Prayag. In the 2 places, he organized the religious conferences. That means he is gathering all the religious people to discuss the religious matter. Religious conference it is called. That one he organized. Understood? They were tolerating all the religion. This is all about the Harshavardhana, children. Okay? Very nice stories there, Harshavardhana. Yes, no? I hope you enjoyed that one. Now, for today, I will give the homework. Take this for children. Yes, homework for today, children. Name the capital city of Pushyabhuti dynasty. Don't get confusion. Name the capital city of Harshavardhana means Kannauj you have to write. Kannauj, the Harshavardhana shifted to that one. Pushyabhuti dynasty from the beginning, Taneshwar was their capital city. That you have to write there. Okay. Where did Harshavardhana shifted his capital? Where he shifted from Taneshwar to Kannauj? Yes, no? That you write. Who wrote Harshacharita? Harshacharita book about Harshavardhana wrote. Who that one writer's name you have to write? Where is Nalanda University? Where it is? How many villages donated to Nalanda University? How many village tax given to the Nalanda University? Just I explained, no? That you write. Write short note on Nalanda University. About Nalanda University, write in your own sentence, minimum 5 sentences you write, children. Where it is, who supporting the Nalanda University, how many schools, how many libraries were there, how the education, what subjects they are teaching, from other countries students used to come, that you write. Like this way, 5 sentences try to write. Your writing skill should be developed, children. So, according to your knowledge, you write the 5 sentences about Nalanda University. Okay, children? Yes, this is about the Harshavardhana. At last, we completed the very lengthy lesson, children. Important dynasties of North India. In the next class, I will take the geography lesson. Okay? Thank you.